Are we live? Okay, sorry, I don't even have my mic ready. Hi guys, how you going? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thanks guys, thank you so much guys for coming here and joining me today. Today's live stream is a little bit different because I want to show you my listing process. Let me know guys if there's any problems with my microphone, if you can't hear me, can't see me or anything like that. I'll just wait a couple of minutes until there's a few people that jump in, and then I will get going and I will start sharing my screen and start showing you exactly how I do my listing process. I'm a little bit nervous about this today. It's weird to have other people like watching you work. I'm worried I'm going to make typos, or I'm not going to be able to go to my normal speed because I've got all these people watching me. Quick hello. Hi, everybody who's there in the chat. I really appreciate you all coming. I can see there's people here from Australia, from UK, from America, from Germany. So thank you, New Orleans. I can see everybody's here. So thanks so much for coming, guys. Okay, today I want to try and keep the questions kind of related to listing. So if you have any questions that are not related to listing, maybe you could drop them in the comment section underneath the video so I can look at them after the live stream and I can help you out and answer them there, or you can DM me any other questions over on Instagram if that works for you. But maybe the questions today in the live stream, if we can keep them all to about listing. If you've got any questions, and maybe write question in bold before it so I don't miss it between all the chit chat, because that can be that can get a little bit harder for me. Okay, so where are we at? So we're ready to start. I hope this is going to work. So let me just explain a little bit about my listing process. Now, okay, where do I start? Okay, so today I'm going to show you how I list. So I've got my 30 items. So I'm listing 30 items every single day into my store. So I've already done my 30 photographs. So that's part of the process for me. I always do my photograph in batching before I sit down at the computer and do my listing. So I'm not one of these people who photographs one items and then list it. I photograph the whole lot that I'm going to list, and then I sit down to list it all in one chunk so I can do it as fast as possible. Now, I am primarily a bookseller, so today I will be listing books, but somebody did say to me, why don't you show how you list other items? And I wanted to kind of say that this isn't really like a how do you list, like if you've never listed before. This isn't one of those tutorials. I'm kind of presuming here that most of you are already resellers and you know how to list. What I'm hoping from this video is that you can watch me list, and maybe it will show my process compared to your process, and maybe there will be something that you can tweak in yours to be going faster or something of the like. But I also want to show you why it's fast for me. And the reason why it's fast for me to list is because I am a niched store. Like 95% of my store is books. So yes, I got a few items of clothing in there, which I'm trying to get rid of. I don't want to have any clothing in my store anymore. Yes, I've got some media, DVDs and CDs. They are very similar to list as books, but primarily I am a bookseller. So I want to show you my listing process doing my books, because that's pretty much what I list every single day. It doesn't really matter what you are listing, if this makes sense. Okay, like whatever your niche is, like the listing process should be, you should be able to get yourself into a workflow and a rhythm. The hard part is if you are an everything seller. If you are an everything seller, it's going to take you longer and it's going to be harder to list, because you are jumping from one category to the other. You might be selling a book 1 minute, then you go to the DVD category, then you go to the shoe category, then you go to the clothing category, then you go to the ceramic category. Then you're jumping all over the place. And then what's happening is you're having to like really research for a long time to find out how much these items are worth, because it's very different to be photographed, to be listing a bread and butter book, to then maybe having like a ceramic glass vase that needs all this extra extra research. So it depends what your niche is. I personally like the niche down store. Like I find it so much easier to work. I find it easier to list. I feel like my whole system processes in my store works faster for me. I've got the same photography set up for every single item that I photograph. I don't have to change it. Like when you saw me do clothes a few weeks ago when I was finishing off the clothes that I have, I have to move the whole setup that I've got and set up a whole different station just to be doing clothes. I don't want to be doing that every single day. I don't want to be chopping my station from book photo station to clothing photo station. So everything in my business is very systemized. My packing, it's all the same. Everything I sell pretty much goes in the same packing mailers. The photography is the same. The photos are the same. The listing is the same. And that's why it makes it faster for me. And that's why I'm able to get more items listed in a day and speed up my workflow. And that's why it's quite fast for me to list, because a lot of the time I'm selling books. Like if I'm selling a gardening book, I can do a sell similar in my store off another one of my own gardening books. So then all the details in there are pretty much the same except for the author and the title. But a lot of my item specifics and my conditions are all the same. So it's very fast for me to get that listed. Okay, just before I check, go over to my screen, I'm just going to have a quick look here. A scroll of the chat so I can get to the bottom and see where we are. Okay, don't forget, any questions? Okay, here's a quick question. I'll get there before I start. When you're listing lots of random books, do you list all the books in the description or just take photos of all the books? When you're listing lots, oh, you mean like a bundle of random books? Do you list all the books in the description? No, I don't. I don't individually list them all in the description. My description, you will see it, is exactly the same for every single thing that I list besides a copy and paste of the different title. The rest of the description is exactly the same. So the photos show the actual books that are in the description. I don't bother typing them all out. Like if I've got 5 different books by James Patterson, I'm not writing out a list of all those 5 different books. You can see them in the photos. And it's never been a problem for me. So that's how I do it. It's much faster. I've never had an issue with it. So I will continue to do it that way. Now, also, I'll just let you know that this is the way I list, and it might not be the best way for everybody else, but this way works for me. So that's how it is. Daisy, oh, 449. Thank you so much for the super chat. I haven't even started. Okay, question. This is kind of there. Why do you not want clothing in your store? Okay, I want to be more of a niched down eBay business. Like it's easy, like I was just saying then, it's much easier for me to have a system where everything is the same. When I do clothing, I have to have different systems. It's a different system to doing books. I have to wash clothes. I have to, photograph in a different way. I can't just photograph the clothing on my little table. I have to move it out, put flat lay on the floor, put hooks up. I have to use tape measurements. It's just, when I'm sourcing then as well, it would take me longer to source if I'm sourcing an entire store for everything. Whereas when I go to source, I just go to the book section of the shop and then I'm out the door and I'm off to the next shop. So some stores I'm literally in there for 5 or 10 minutes because I'm scanning with my eyes and then I'm out of there. So it's a much faster process when you are niche down in a category, whether or not that's just books or just clothing or just ceramics or just shoes. It doesn't really matter what you niche down in. It's all about what you love and what's accessible in your area and what you can find. I personally just love doing a bookstore. Thank you again, Daisy. Do you schedule listings? I don't schedule listings, but I am trying to build a draft bank of listings. Okay, now I'm scrolling down here. If I have missed your question, you'll have to put it back in there in a second because I'm going to go to my screen share here. So let me just work this out. I'm going to show you what my whole computer looks like here. Oh, okay. This is messy. Okay. I can't. Hold on. Okay, so I know this looks messy, but I want to show you here because I can't do it any other way. Okay, so what you're looking at here, the main picture is obviously I'm looking at my StreamYard here at the moment. I'm looking at the camera. I don't have the eBay page on there. But to the left here, you're going to see my photo section is set up, right? So I've got 3 tabs open here at the moment. I've got my bridge that is set up on the left, and I use an Apple Mac computer, and I use the bridge application for my photos. So the first thing I do is once I take my photos, I put them they're on my phone. I airdrop them to my computer. Sometimes I have to airdrop them. If I've taken 1,000 photos, sometimes I have to airdrop them in 2 or 3 lots because otherwise it can take a long time to process that many images. But it doesn't take me long to airdrop the photos. And once the photos are airdropped, they go into a folder that's on my desktop, and then that folder can be viewed over here in Bridge. So you see that I've got 3 screens up here. I've got photos on the left. I've got my main page in the middle here, which will be my eBay listing page. And then to the right, you will see that I've got another one of my eBay pages open, which is what I use for copy and paste. Now I'm just going to go to these. Pages individually for you to look at. Okay, so what you're looking at now is my bridge screen. So you can see up the top here, untitled folder. That's just where I've got these photos. These are the 30 photos. These are my 30 listings in this folder that I'm going to be listing today. I might not list them all while I'm live on stream, but these are the 30 items that I've got processed, ready to photograph today. And they sit here in this bridge folder. And then what happens is over here in this main screen, there's like a little zoom. So if there's anything that I'm not sure about, if I can't read the author or anything while I'm typing, I can just zoom it up if I need to. But this is how I view my images, and this is how I am making my listings of these images, if that makes sense. Okay, now the other screen that I've got here, share screen. Okay, so this is just one of my other listings that I've pulled up. This is the other tab that's sitting here. Now, basically what I've done here is this here where I've got pre-owned, see photos for condition and read the description. That is for the top of a listing here, where up here in the condition description. So basically what I've done is I've just copy and pasted that, and then I've put it down here just for convenience for me. So basically I flip between copy and pasting this and copy and pasting this. This one goes up the top always in my condition description. This one goes down the bottom in my bigger description. So these are just sitting here so I don't have to type them the same thing out every single time. I just want to be able to copy and paste it. Now, if I'm doing a sell similar of one of my own listings, these items will be already in that listing and I don't even need to copy and paste. If I'm doing a copy and paste, if I'm doing a sell similar of somebody else's listing, then this is why I use this. I will copy and paste that out of somebody, because when I do a sell similar on somebody else's listing, it's not going to have this information in there. So I need to be able to put that in fast. So that's a copy and paste. Okay. So is that all making sense? Pat, I can see you've done a super chat. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pat, for the super chat. I will just stop and see that because I saw it pop up on my screen. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm hoping that this is making sense. Is there anything that's not clear to you guys about my 3 screens that I'm using? Do you have any questions about that? Tyson, yes, I am taking my phone to take the images, and I just transfer them during AirDrop because I use Macs. So I've got Mac phone, Mac desktop, and it's just a straight AirDrop to the folder on my on my desktop, and then I view the folder into my bridge here. So that's how it goes. Okay, thank you, Pat. Okay, so now let us get into this listing. This is very bizarre to do it like this, guys. Share screen. Okay. Window. Where's my eBay screen? Is this working? Sorry, while I just see if this is working. eBay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so it's so bizarre for me because I'm looking at the screen here, but I'm looking at I can't look at the comments, guys, while I'm doing this actual listing. So just bear with me with the comments. So when I come back to full screen, then put your questions in again with the thin questions. Okay, so we're going to go in and we're going to do a listing. So basically the first listing that I'm going to do today is how can I show this, all three of it? Share screen. Okay. So basically the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my bridge over here to the left. So the first photo you can see up here is this book called Dig. So that's what I'm doing. So basically my eye to the left is looking at this book that says Dig. And then I'm going to the eBay website and I'm going to be putting that eBay website in. So I can't seem to share. I don't know how to share. I don't know how to share. I don't know how you can see me doing all three of them here. Oh, is that working if I bring this up? Can you tell me now, can you see my eBay screen and the two other screens? Because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, let me go back here. Stop screen, share screen, window. Okay, I might just have to be flicking through these screens. So I'm going to go to the first page here, Dig. And so I can see that this book is called Dig, Seasonal Gardening, and it's by Meredith Curton. So that is the book that I'm going to type into my eBay now. So obviously, let's go share screen, go to my window, eBay. Okay. But where is my eBay? Okay. Aha, here we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oh no, what am I doing? I'm going back to, oh guys, I'm having a shocker here. Sorry. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so the name of the book is called Dig, and it is by Dig Seasonal Gardening. Dig Seasonal Gardening. Just confirming that you are seeing my eBay screen. Okay, so now I'm looking here. This is what I'm looking at to quickly price it. I'm just doing a quick scroll. I can see there's a book there for $22, $29, $30 odd, $24, $30 roughly. So 22 is the lowest one that I can see. I'm then going to go down quickly and do a sorry, where am I? Go down here and I'm going to look at the solds. Now I can see that there's no books here that have sold that are exactly the same. There is one that is sold here by the same author. It is sold, looks like it's part of the same series, and that one is sold for $27.20. But there is none that have actually sold for that much. So I think this one that's priced around the $22 is where I want to be. So I'm going to go to my active listings now. I'm going to type in a gardening book. Right, I've got lots of gardening books listed, right? So what I'm going to do is just find another one that is a paperback, because that one is, and I'm going to do a sell similar of my own listing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the title out of this, and the other one was called Dig Seasonal Gardening, and it might be too long here. Dig Seasonal Gardening. It is a paperback book, and it is by Meredith somebody. Let me just go back. Meredith Curtin. Right, I'm going to, I don't need the word gardening types, garden. So basically I'm doing my title in this order: the name of the book, that it's a paperback book or a hardback book, and then I'm doing the author, and then I'm adding any extra keywords that I can possibly add that are keywords that are actually going to be related to my book. Okay, so now I need to put in my custom SKU, right? So my custom SKU, let me just see if you can see this. Can you see here the custom SKU here on my order? So basically, once I finish taking the photo of this book, there is my custom SKU. I have taken a photo of the shelf that I've put that book on, right? So that is 05. So that means that book is on shelf 05. So when I'm doing this listing, I'm looking at that title and I'm working my way down, and I'm putting that SKU number in straight away, because that is so important to have that SKU number in. I don't want to forget the SKU number, because if the book sells and I've forgotten to put the SKU number in, then I am in trouble. I won't be able to find that book. Also, if I'm doing a sell similar of one of my other items, it's going to have the other item's SKU number in it. So it's very important that I make sure I change that SKU. So that is the second thing I do after I do a title. I do this in the same order every single time. Okay, so window. Okay, so my SKU for this one was 05. So in my SKU, I'm going to go 05 February, so I know when it's done, and then that's basically all I write: the SKU and the month and the year that I've put it in. If I have been tracking my hoarders haul, if this was a book from my hoarders haul, I would have written hoarder there or something. So it gives me something else, but nobody else can see what I put in my SKU. But this will just tell me when the book went in and exactly when I listed it, so I know. Now, nearly all my books here I'm putting as good and acceptable. So this book I know is good. And the reason I know it's good is because I just photographed it yesterday. So also I can tell by the photos if a book is acceptable. I pretty much generally only use good and acceptable. I am going to start trying to grade maybe a few of my books a little bit higher, but most of them go as good or acceptable. Now, because I'm doing a sell similar of my own item, I don't need to change this condition description. It's going to stay exactly the same. I take these photos out. I go to my bridge, and I drop my photos in over here. Next step, while those are uploading, I'm over here. So what I do is I copy and paste my title. Then I copy and paste it over here and get rid of the stuff that's not the book. I copy and paste it over here. Most of the author might stay there. Sometimes it cuts it off a little bit, and I just have to write the rest of it in. Meredith Curtin. I get rid of the other order. It's in English. Okay, now a lot of these topics are going to be the same because it's a gardening book. So I've got pot plants, gardening, gardens, plants, flowers. Basically, I don't have to do much else there. I don't want anything in the book series. I leave any of these item specifics that I don't know or are irrelevant to my book. I now leave absolutely blank. I do not worry about trying to get the little blue dot. The only thing I'm worried about is the required ones. So when you have your item specifics, obviously the more item specifics you have, the better. But if it is not part of a book series, then don't make it up. Don't even write NA in there. It is not part of a book series. So you don't need to write it in there. You only write those kind of things in there if they're relevant to your book. It's already in a paperback. Now, I know when I do a gardening book, I use these three kind of like genres all the time. So there's the leisure and hobbies, and there's the environment and the nature and earth. Gardening isn't an actual genre. You can add that yourself, but I prefer to use the ones that are just from the drop down. So definitely I'll always have these two, the environment and nature and the leisure. Over here it is a non-fiction. The publisher is unknown. Now, publisher is one of these ones. I just don't put the publisher in for every single book. Part of the reason is like the writing to find the publisher in the book is so small. My eyes aren't that good anymore. I really don't think that personally. I don't ever search by the publisher of a book. To me, it's kind of like I don't know. I mean, a lot of people maybe search by publisher. I don't stress about it too much. That's just me. If you want to put the publisher in it, that's great. All the better for your listing. The more you've got in there, the better. I personally pretty much leave the publisher, and the publication year is another one that, unless I think this is going to be a rare or a first edition or something more like a special book, I am not putting the publication in year. I'm just putting unknown. I do have a photo in my listing always of that page. So if they want to click and enlarge that, they can find the publication details themselves and the year that it's made. Okay, the type, I'm just putting book. The country and the region of manufacture are known, and this is an illustrated book. It is not inscribed, because if it was inscribed, I would have taken a photo of the text. If somebody's written a name or something in the book, I take a photo of it. So then I know when I'm doing my listing if it's inscribed, but I can see in the photos of this book, there is no photos of anything inscribed. So that's a no, and it's intended for an audience. And then I just simply copy and paste the same thing there. I come over here, I'm adding my price. Now I'm going to go the same as that other one, around the $22. I'm letting buyers are allowed to make offers. All my payment and postage details stays the same, because I pretty much offer free postage. I do have other drop downs there for other postages. Occasionally I will tap on a postage for like a large bundle or something. And then down here, I also am offering a discount to buyers when they purchase more than one item. So very, very few people have actually ever taken me up using this kind of offer, but eBay likes you to offer it, so I offer it. And then I push list, and that is it. Now obviously that took me a long time, because I was just going through and actually showing you how I did that. But the next thing I would do is, I'll just show you by going back to this screen, share screen, window. These photos now that are in here, these get dragged out and they get dropped automatically into my trash bin. So I know I've already listed that item, and this is the next one to do. So I don't keep any of the photos that once I've downloaded them to my computer and I've made the listing, I'm not keeping any of my photos. It would actually be way more time consuming for me to go back through a folder of thousands of listed items to find the photo. If I was to have an issue, I'd be quicker to just go to the shelf and take the book out and rephotograph it. So I don't keep any of those photos. They just take up space on my thing and I don't need them. So that is that. So let me just see if anyone has any questions here for that before I move on. I'll show you without talking how I do another one of these listings like a little bit faster. Okay, question, where was it? Do you tick the allow private box? Okay, I do tick the allow private box on certain listings. So if it's just a book about gardening, I don't really bother to tick the private listing. If I'm selling a book that's about 50 Shades of Grey, erotic photography, maybe a book that's nude photography, something that's a little, or maybe even an erotic romance novel, like similar to 50 Shades, not just a romance novel, but like more of the erotic type ones, then yes, I will click that I'm allowed the private box. And if anyone was to message me prior and say, can you make this a private listing? no worries at all. I'll make that a private listing without hesitation if somebody wants that to be, if their username wants to be kept private from one of my listings. Why does your folder view look like that? Is this the bridge? This is because I'm using a bridge application. So that's why it's easy for me to, in my past job, I was a photographer. So I used Bridge and Photoshop for all my photos. So I'm very used to viewing photographs in the bridge setting. But I don't know about you guys, but if you look at that bridge there, doesn't it look easy for you? Like, it's easy for me to see all my photos in order. It's easy for me to read off those photos what I'm actually listing. It's easy for me to see the name, the author. I can zoom in, and I can see the photos there and then drop them out. They drop instantly from my computer into the bridge, and they drop instantly from bridge into my listing. So there's no downloading process to get them off my computer. It's very, very fast. So I'm a Mac user. Bridge works for me. This is how I do it. So if you don't have Bridge, that might not work for you. But yeah. Does changing the meta affect the search? No, because I'm doing a sell similar. So it's just a sell similar, so it becomes a brand new listing. If I was just re-editing the listing, then yes, then it's changing all the metadata. But I'm doing a sell similar, so it's different like that. Where are we? Publisher is important for vintage books. Yes. And I do think that vintage books are you do have to, like the vintage books, I do like to put the year of them in. And yes, the publisher can be good for especially the older books. But these ones that I'm listing today, these are like run-of-the-mill kind of bread and butter, books probably in the last 5 or 10 years. They're not that old kind of books, and I just don't feel like it's that relevant. I think the publisher and the year of the book is very relevant if it's more of a collectible book, a book that's gone out of print, something that is a little bit more rare. And those kind of books I will generally spend more time on, and I will zoom up and look at those ones. But these run-of-the-mill, like gardening, everyday fiction books that are like new releases and stuff, I'm not worried about like the publisher and stuff like that. But that's just me. I'm not saying it's the right way. Or maybe I would get more sales than I do if I spent that extra time doing it. But for me, I would rather, if I was to do 30 listings and spend all 30 looking up the publisher, I'd be like this, trying to see it all. It would take me a lot longer. I could probably get an extra, like 10 listings done in the time, which could bring me more value up. I never scan the UPC to start a listing ever. Over in Australia, we don't do a lot with barcodes because we don't have Amazon. We don't do much with scanners over here. So all my listings are done fresh from scratch, no scanning, no barcoding or anything like that. Yeah. I'm always dubious about listing anything that's not brand new above a good condition. I've had too many items not as described as buyers wanting a partial refund. Yeah, I am very hesitant as well. However, I do think that I'm probably losing maybe some sales because of this. If somebody is searching to buy a book and they are searching via the item specifics, they can actually tick that they only want to see books that are in very good condition or good condition. And they might totally rule out all the ones that are in acceptable condition. And I actually have a lot of books that are probably good, but I've put them in acceptable conditions because I like to downgrade slightly. So if the book is good, I do put it in good. If the book is kind of a little bit hesitant between that, for me, it's probably good, but to somebody else's opinion, maybe they'd say it's acceptable. I downgrade it to acceptable. I do think I'm possibly losing some sales via that method for anybody searching item specific wise and ruling out any of the books that are acceptable. But that's a risk that's a risk that I weigh up between getting the items not as described, because item not as described is based on opinion. So I can say a book is good, and the buyer can say, well, in my opinion, the book's acceptable. And I will lose that case because eBay will say the buyer's opinion was that it's acceptable. So that's the condition. So I am really, really conscious of that as well. I'm very conscious of getting items not as described. And I feel like by undergrading a little bit, then I'm exceeding their expectation. And yeah, that's how I feel. And that obviously sounds the same as how you feel. I'm not saying it's the best way. I think I am probably losing some sales, which isn't always good, but that's the risk that I take. Okay. People normally only read a book once and don't worry about the condition. I think they worry about the condition if they're more a collector. Some people want to have them displayed in a bookshelf and they want the same type of spine and they want the same kind of condition as their other ones. Those people tend to be a little bit more. If they're just looking for something like rough to read once, then yeah, somebody would rather pay less for that book and get it a little bit pre-worn than buying new. No, I don't have it automatically set to delete. I just drag them as I'm going into that folder. So yeah, that's how I do it. Okay, now let me go back. I'm going to list this next book and I'm going to do it without talking here on the phone. Oh, hold on, Bobby, let me just answer this before I go. Do you ever have to need to edit a photo cropping? No. Never ever do I touch a photo once it's come out of my photos. I take all my photos in a square setting, which is what eBay likes. So there's no cropping. I basically am cropping it by the way that I'm shooting it. I'm shooting it in the square setting, and I'm trying to make sure that the book fills the frame. So if you look here at this this one here, you can see that this book here is nearly filling the frame. Like it's filling it as much as I possibly can in a square setting. I'm taking it right to the top here to fill it. Same as at the back here. Okay, so when I'm taking a photo here of inside the book, I am taking it like close up like that. So it's filling these. I'm trying to fill the frame as much as possible. Even here when I'm doing this one, like I'm trying to get the width of it so that it's filling the frame as much as possible. See how I bring it close? And see how also I'm trying to get down to almost like an eye level with the book. So, and that way, like the more I can come in like this, then they can zoom up and see it. It's the same with this one. See how it's very much filling the thing. When I'm taking my photos in my iPhone, I'm also using the vivid setting, which kind of gives it a little bit more pop, so the photo just doesn't look quite as flat. So looking at that photo there, I don't need to edit that in any way possible. Like I don't need to crop it. The color looks fine. I'm not wasting my time doing any editing at all. Yep. Okay, so somebody just asked me there about a book title for the bundles. I will show you that. I've got some bundles in here. So if you just wait a second, I'll come down and I'll do some bundles in a minute. But right now, I want to show you actually how I would list without talking to you so you can see actually how fast I would go doing that. Okay, give me a drink. Share screen. There's a lot of share screening here. Okay, so this next book is called The Unknown Anzacs. I can't see any. Here's one, $27.95. $27.95. Let's go to my solds. Okay, this one is sold $24 on offer. So it looks to be maybe around a $20 book. Now I'm actually going to do a sell similar on this one. It's because I don't think I've got any other books that I buy a sell similar. I mean like on Anzacs as such, but I hate this title. All these caps, that is absolutely disgusting. Do not do caps like that. So I'm just going to start at that totally from scratch. So it is the name of the book. It is a hardcover book. And it is by Peter Fitz. Oh, no, it's not by Peter Fitzgibbons. No, it's by Michael Caulfield. That's probably why my search was coming up wrong. Caulfield. Caulfield. Now, because it's about Anzacs, I'm going to look for some keywords here. So it says real stories on the front, real stories. I might actually write true stories, war, military, right? So then I'm going to come down here. My custom SKU is P422. The book I'm going to put in good condition. I'm going to go over and copy and paste from my third screen that was on the side with my condition description. And then I'm coming straight back up to copy and paste my titles. I am dropping those photos in now. The author's already there. I am going to take I don't like capitals at all anywhere in a listing, so I am going to take that out. I'm going to add that. Where is it? Oh, it's not letting me because it's already there in capitals. The topic is war, military, history. Too many photos, that's fine. Better to have more photos than enough. It is a hardcover book. I'm going to add war and combat to that. Now, the publisher, there's a publisher in here for this book, but I don't know the publisher because I haven't looked it up. That might be wrong. So I'm going to change it. I don't want to go off somebody else's, what they are saying in case it's wrong. 2013, I can come up here and see that it is a 2013. There is a dust jacket here in that book. Country is unknown. Book. It is intended for audience. It is not inscribed. Has a John jacket. Put my copy and paste there of my title. Copy and paste from the third screen of my description. I'm going to do this book at $18.99. For a discount, list the item. Done. Then I'm going over back to my folder there and I'm deleting those photos into the trash can so they're gone. Right, I'll just do one more here while I'm let me do one more book while I'm here as an individual so you can see it. Okay, we're going to do a book called ER Nurses by James Patterson. $30, $30, 26. Quickly look. Sold 29, pre-owned $29.50 in Australia. Okay, let's do a sell similar. ER Nurses, I'm going to change this up a little bit. ER Nurses, paper. I like my book to be paperback here. Paperback book by James Patterson, True Stories, nursing. Then I'm going to my SKU, which is P4, February 22. Copy and paste my condition. This book was in good condition. I'm going to get rid of that. ER Nurses, James, all that's already in there. I'm checking them all one by one because I don't want to have any item specifics that somebody else has put into their listing that I don't actually want. Okay, so is this easy to spot? This is a Century. If I can see the publisher easy on it, I will put it in. If I can't, I don't worry. Non-fiction, biographies and true stories. Unknown, paperback, unknown. I only put things that are in the drop down. I don't want to be making my own things up. There's no real features about this book, so I'm going to leave that. The book is not inscribed. Adults. ISBN is probably correct there, but I don't need it. $29.99. List. So that's how quick it is. That's how quick it is for me to do a book. while that's doing it, I'm just putting my photos in the trash and I'm getting ready to work onto the next one. Okay, does that make sense? Could you see that? Okay. Yeah, I don't like the caps lock. You shouldn't use caps lock. Google doesn't like caps lock, and eBay doesn't like it either. So yeah, you always capitalize the first letter of the word, but never do bold text like that. It doesn't even read nicely. Like, it looks like you're shouting out of them. Oh, Mel, it's March. It is so. Okay, I'll go back and change those later. Okay. Because you do. Okay, so I'm just seeing if there's any quick questions here. Question for all in the chat. Do you research the same book prior to listing your item first, or do you take a gander and just go for it? So like you can see for me, I'm just taking a quick look. I'm not scrolling down pages and pages and pages. I'm looking at probably like the last 5 to 10 books that have been listed or sold. That's all I'm going off. Like I'm not going to, unless I think that this is like, okay, see this book here, super old, very, very different. I might have to look at, like, this book is different. I might have to spend like an extra little bit of time on that, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. And so what I would do is I always make sure if I've got a hard book that I'm going to list, I list that book last, because I don't want my workflow to slow down. So I list all my kind of common books so that I'm going super, super fast the whole way. And then if I've got like a hardish book, I will leave that to the last, and then I don't ruin my workflow. Because once you stop to spend a longer amount of time doing that kind of price comping and details and looking, maybe that's a book that's not even listed on eBay. Maybe I would have to go to Google to have a little bit of a search. I don't want to be doing that in the middle of my listings. I want my workflow to say very, very streamlined and fast. Where are we? My daily listing goal is 30. I list 30 books every single day, and I try and go as fast as possible like that. So I'm doing my 30 listings like within about an hour. So if I've got run-of-the-mill easy books to list, it's like 30 an hour. If I was to have 30 very hard books to list, it might take me an hour and a half. I don't use the scheduled listings. I currently don't have any banked listings. I'm not ahead. I need to get ahead of my banked listings. That's something that's on my to-do list. But no, I'm just keeping them in my draft folder. And like when I do have them in my draft folder, I'm keeping them in the draft folder and listing from the draft. Yeah. So when I have my old books, I try not to list like a heap of old books all at once, because it's time consuming. So I'll just mix in sometimes like 28 of my regular books with 2 older books, so that I'm not spending too much time, and I'll just kind of spread the older books out over like the week or 2, so that I'm not just doing like a whole lot of them. Unless I had like a lot of extra time in a day, then maybe I could do 30 really, really hard books all at once. But if I'm just doing most of the time, I only like to do regular books. These hard books that I get, they come from hauls and stuff, and they're not books that I've generally cherry picked, which is why they are harder for me. The books that I'm cherry picking, I am cherry picking books that I know are quick and easy for me to list. Yeah. Okay, Zoe, no, I never use an auction. In Australia, we have to pay about a $3.50. I'm not sure the exact amount, but it's like $3 or $3.50 just to run an auction listing. So if I was to sell a book for $20 and there's a $3.50 auction fee plus my 18% eBay fees plus my shipping, I'm not going to make any money. So the Australians only tend to do auctions on things that are worth a little bit more money, a little bit more rare. For most bread and butter stores in Australia, we wouldn't bother with an auction because those fees are just too high. You need to be selling something that's actually worth quite a bit of money, that's going to be maybe sought after and do well on an auction style to make it worth it. Um, Yeah, I guess with my listing time, most of my books are bread and butter stuff. Most of them aren't hard stuff. And when I'm doing those hard stuff, if I'm only adding in a couple of hard ones a day, then it's not adding too much extra time to my listing process, because it's just like one or two of them that are a little bit harder that might take me an extra couple of minutes. The rest of the time I'm just trying to source bread and butter items and look for those more bread. Like, I don't have a lot of things in my store that are worth high dollars. Like, most things that I sell in my store are worth under $50. Most of my books are worth under $50. Okay, now let me go back and show you how I would do a bundle. So let me go here and find, like, which bundle will I do for you? Well, let's just do this one because it's here. Okay, so the bundle that I'm going to show you, where do you shoot for on the price when researching, Dwayne? I shoot for more lower. Okay, I don't generally always want to be the lowest, and I definitely don't want to undercut the market, because that will just in turn only undercut my own store if everybody starts undercutting each other. So I try to go in around that lowest price, maybe slightly higher if it's a book that I'm familiar with, if I've sold it before, if I know that it's fairly good seller or something, or depending on how many are even listed. But I'm definitely not pricing up at the higher range, because I'm more of a quick flip business model. I don't have a lot of space in this shed. I want to be moving this stuff out. So I'm listing 30 items a day, and I'm hoping to somewhere come out soon with selling somewhere between 20 and 30 a day. So at the moment, I kind of go between selling 15 and 20-ish a day, sometimes a little bit more, but generally probably around that 15 to 20 a day I'm selling at the moment. But I'd like to be selling somewhere between the 20 and 30, which would get me to that reseller nirvana, they call it, where you're basically listing as much as you're selling. That would be ideal. But you have to be consistent for a few months in your store to hit reselling nirvana. You don't just hit reselling nirvana straight away. Like, it might take me 6 months of listing 30 every single day before I'm actually selling 30 every single day. But the more consistent I be for the longer amount of time, the higher the chance I'm going to get there to hit that reselling nirvana. But if I can sell any between 20 to 30 books a day, that's my goal. That is my goal. Okay, so let me go here. Okay, so this is the book set that I'm going to show you now that I'm going to list. So basically, this is a combination set that I've put together, because there was a little box set here with 6 books, but I also found the next 3 books in the series at the same thrift store. So instead of just having books 1 to 6, I've got books 1 to 9. So my listing again is going to be a little bit different here than somebody who was just selling maybe this regular box set. What the aim is here is that I'm actually going to be offering more value. There's probably other sellers that are selling this box set by itself, but I'm probably going to be the only listing now that is selling the box set plus the next 3 in that series. So hopefully that'll set my listing apart. And that is the best thing about bundles, is they help to set your listing apart. You can, and they offer value, which is why I love selling the bundles. Okay, so this is the Darren Shan. It is a paranormal. It is paranormal fiction, and this is it. So let me go back to my eBay page now, and I'm going to type this in. If you've got any questions at the moment, I might miss them until I'm back. Okay, so we are going to go, let me just have a look what this is actually called. The Darren Shan Home of the Damned. I'm just trying to see if there's an actual series written on here, which I don't think there is. So I'm just having a quick look It's just called the Saga of Darren Shan. So now I know what to type in here. Saga of Darren Shan. I'm looking also for the box set, I think. So I'm going to go box set. Okay. Okay, here's somebody else who's made, that's in the UK, so it's a little bit different for me. Here's one, $65 plus $15.55 post. 52. Let's go to the sold. It's a little bit hard to go off here. Okay, so here we've got the same box set that I've sold, and this is sold for $34.99 plus $14.99 post. So like, what's that, like $50. So I'm going to go off this, but because I've got those 3 extra books, I'm going to list mine for a little bit more than this. So I normally do mine with the free shipping. So let's see, the Saga of Darren Shan box set. She's got 1 to 6 Horror Master Critique Freak box set. So I'm going to change mine a little bit here. I'm going to go 1 to 9 paperback. Paperback, what do I want in my table? Paperback books, vampire, horror, maybe scary. Okay, so now I am going to type in my code here, which is E3 March, March 22. I'm going to copy and paste my condition description from the other page. I'm going to put acceptable on this one because a few of them were only acceptable. I'm going to copy and paste up here now, drop my photos in quickly. Right, the book title is, I'm just going to pull up any one of these book titles. Okay, so I've got here one, Tunnels of Blood. It doesn't really matter which book I put in. I'm only putting in the one. Okay, so then it's the series. So it's the Saga of the Darren Shan. Okay, this is wrong here. Somebody else is listing here. She's done that wrong. It is not, the topic is not boxing. It is vampires. It is paranormal. That'll do. Format, paperback, not box set. Publisher, I'm just going to put unknown. It is a fiction set. The genre is horror, paranormal. I like to use the paranormal one. And I also like to use fantasy. They're going to have different publication years because there's multiple books. So unknown, book, country is unknown. The features is, this is a lot. This is a bundle. This is a box set. This is adults. Now, I haven't marked any of these as inscribed, but I'm not even 100% if I did even check them 100% all. So I'm just going to leave that blank. I'm just going to go back up here into the title, and I'm actually going to add the word lot. And I'm going to come back down. And that's all there. So now I just have to copy and paste my title, copy and paste my description. That was $50 with the thing. I'm going to go for $64.99 for my set, and because it's got the 3 extra books, and I'm listing. That is it. So that's how I do a bundle. It's not that much different. Let me do another bundle here. Okay, let's go this one here. We have got Jack Carr. This is a suspense novel. So let's go Jack Carr books. And I can see him coming up here. Here's one that's going 2 of them for nearly $37-ish. Let's just see what he's actually selling for. I like to have a little bit of what they're listed for, but also what they're selling. So these are selling brand new here, $22.95, $20, roughly like this. So here is a set of 3 UK, $29. Here's one pre-owned, the same 3 books that I've got, sold for $36. Beaut. That sounds good to me since I only paid $1 per book. I'm happy to sell $1 per book with 3 books for $36.99. Okay, so I don't like this title with all those, you know, dates like that and stuff. I don't like that. Okay, so Jack Carr. So I'm going to write mine like this: 3 by Jack Carr, crime, thriller, paperback books, suspense novels, lot. Now, I'm not so fussed on putting all 3 of those names of the books in there because I feel like he's going to come up anyway when he searched for his name. Okay, so 3 by Jack Carr, crime, thriller, paperback books, suspense novels, lot, bundle. I'm done. Right. So I'm going to put these as good condition. They are SKU E5, March 2022. I'm going to copy paste, talking my way through this. Copy paste again up the top. Drop my photos in now. Let's get them all at once. Drop them in. Jack Carr, one of the books is called Devil's Hand, English. The series is called James Reese. That's already there. It's a crime. The topic is crime, thriller, general thriller. The publisher, I leave it blank or write unknown, I normally do. Fiction, paperback, action. This is also a suspense novel, which I think mystery comes. I put mystery. Publication year, I'm going to put unknown because there's 3 books and they might be all different. Novel. Now, the features of this is it is a lot. It is a bundle. These are not inscribed because I didn't take any photos. The other one sold for $36.99. I'm happy with that. List. And then photos get dropped in the trash. Okay. That's it. Let me come back and see if you got any questions. Is this making sense, guys? Is this making sense? Circle de Freak is pretty much what non-fans know because of the movie, right? Okay, so I haven't watched the movie, so that wouldn't be probably. So I guess I'm not a movie, but maybe that would be a. Also, that was the name of the first book, wasn't it? Cirque du Freak or whatever. So maybe that would have been quite a good one to put into the title. I'll see how it goes. If it doesn't sell, I can always change it up. Where are we? I'm just saying, if you've got a question now's a good time to re-put it back in the chat because I'm down the bottom here of the chat so you can see it. Is there any questions? Your question, fulfillment coming to Australia, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see how much. It's going to depend on the costs of it, how much it's going to cost to send it there and store it there and everything like that. Have you ever missed a day of listing? Well, I haven't missed a day this year. Last year, I missed many days listing. I was very inconsistent last year. This year, I've made a solid commitment to being consistent, and I am listing 200 listings a week, which equates to about 30 a day. So 200 a week is my goal for the week. 10,000 is my goal for the year. 30 is my goal for the day. Do you do anything to tweak the old listings that have not moved for a while? Yes. Sometimes I will go back in there. I will relook at my titles. The thing is, I've still got some old listings in my store that were done last year and that when I was using a virtual assistant. So some of her listings are not how I would actually do the title as such. Like, they're okay. She did okay, the virtual assistant, but some of those listings can do. But normally, if I've got a little bit of extra time, I try and fix up about 10 listings every single day. And that could be re-looking at my item specifics, re-looking at my pricing, re-looking at my title. Most of the time it's the title that I start to jig around a little bit. And sometimes just by doing a revise on that item, it will bump it up into the algorithm, and I'll find that it will sell, or, it will suddenly get more views on it. So I do think that if you've got old listings that need reworking, like, that is a good thing to do on a consistent basis. If you could do 5 of them every single day on top of your listing goal, or 10 every single day on top of your listing goal, then that would be really like handy for you. It would really help your store as well, because the better your listings, the more chance you are of getting found. Okay. Where are we? Any questions? Is there any benefit of stating unknown on a category as opposed to just living it? Okay, Mark, I think that if there is a drop down for the unknown, so like in the publication year, there is a drop down for unknown. So in that case, then yes, I would put the unknown. If there is no drop down for it, or no, I would just leave it blank. I think it's better to just leave it blank, because if you just make up your own, like whatever it is, like it doesn't really help you. If they suddenly change the item specifics to something that's new and like required, and you've got like something random put in there, it might actually skew it when you need to go back and like bulk edit it or something. I'm not 100% sure, but I just feel like there's no real point. If you are searching, like if you add something that's not in the drop down, it's very hard for a buyer. They have to go through that many drop downs in the item specifics on the left-hand side to find the random thing that you have put in there as an item specific. So I think you're better off if you do not know it. Like on clothing, there's a stupid one that says character. Like there is no character. Like, what is the character to your plain t-shirt? Don't write NA or something like none or something. Just leave it blank. Like it's not gonna, it doesn't matter. Like I think my store now tells me I've got 2,000 listings that have recommended item specifics. I'm not worried about them. Like the required ones are done. If eBay adds any new required ones, then those ones, of course, I will go back and fix. But I don't want to make up things. I also don't want to, I feel like sometimes it looks like spamming on a listing if you have like a heap of item specifics in your listing for the buyer to look at, and all they're seeing is NA. Like it almost looks like a spam listing. Like just leave them blank. Like, but I do say the more item specifics you can fill in, the better for your listing, because the item specifics are what will get you found in search. Because there's 2 ways people search. They're searching either by the title, which is how I would search for an item, or they're searching down the left-hand side where they're being very specific with what they want. Like they only want books in good condition. They only want books that are by a certain publisher or whatever. And sometimes that can be like, for example, let's say I'm selling a big series like True Blood. Right? True Blood might have been made by a few different publishers, but somebody's got a book, True Blood series displayed on their bookshelf, and they want it all to kind of look the same. They might look for the books that are all by the same publisher, so they've got the same look, because they might be a bit OCD or something. Do you know what I mean? So I think if you can list as many item specifics as possible, I don't look on the item specifics as a negative thing. I know a lot of people complain about them. Oh, there's too many of them. But the more there is, the more chance your item will be found and will be sold. So I think we need to look on the item specifics as a good thing. Like they're there to help sell our item. Some of them will only take a couple of extra seconds to do. There are some that I feel like you need to do. Like you have to put in like the topic and the genre of your book there. I feel like don't leave those blank. That's a mistake. And clothing, don't leave the important ones. Don't leave the color out. Don't leave the measurements out. You need to be thinking very much of what a buyer will want, so you don't get any items not as described or returns. You want to be as clear as you can in the listing. Where are we? The notifications from eBay were stressing me out. I started using the desktop, and there's an option to not be reminded. Yeah, I think I don't know. I've just made the decision that they don't bother me. I just don't look at them. If there's some that are required, well, it doesn't even let you do a listing now. If the items are, if you haven't put in the required ones, it'll come back and stop you and say you haven't done the required list, the required item specific. It's more just if they go and change it, in the back end of eBay, and they do like an update and they make a new one, then that's when you have to go back and fix it. And sometimes you can do that in bulk. Sometimes you have to go back and do them individually depending on the item. But yeah, don't stress too much about it. Do as many as you can. Absolutely, do as many as you can. Fill it out to the best of your knowledge. But if you don't know the answer, don't put anything. You're better off to put nothing. Because what if you put the wrong thing? Like, what if it says, okay, what's the genre of the book, right? And you put in fantasy and it's romance, right? Somebody could turn around and go, oh, this was a romance book. You put in fantasy, item not as described, boom. So if you're 100% not clear on it, just leave it blank, because you don't want to open yourself up to that item not as described. Yeah. When you list the item and 3 months later a question asks the question about the book, do you go back and find the answer for them, or you just don't bother with it like daily refinement? Okay, well, I feel like most of the time, if I've done the listing correctly, the items are in the listing, because I'm taking back in the old days, I never used to take a photo of the inside page of the book where the publication details were there and the date, the year that it was done. I never took that photo. Like a year and a half ago, I was not taking that photo. Now I take that photo on every single book, and I'm trying to put as many photos into a listing as I can. So if I can put 12 photos into that listing, I am doing that. So I'm trying to show, I show all the angles of the book, so you can see each side of the book and the condition it's in. I'm showing that year with the year it's made and the publication details. What else? I'm showing some pictures of inside the book. Like even sometimes just on a plain fiction book, I'll take a photo of the text so they can see the size of it, or I'm taking a photo of some of the illustrated pages or a couple of the recipes if it's a cookbook. So I don't really, most of the time, if I was to get a question on a book, it'll come from a book where I haven't put in the publication sheet, and it'll be like, can you tell me what year this book is made? Or can you tell me, where this book is made, or something of the like? And those are only really on my old listings that if I went back and redid, I could do that. But I don't really get that many questions. Very rarely do I get any questions on my books. Do you measure and put in the weight? No, because in Australia, our padded mailers are flat rate. So I only have to choose the size. So it's small, medium, or large, and they've all got a 5 kilo weight limit. So I don't actually have to calculate any weight. I don't have to weigh my books before I do them. If I start selling internationally, it may be a little bit different. I still haven't gone down the international path because I've just got such a simple system working for me at the moment. And it's so fast, and I don't have to type in any of this calculated information. So yeah, I don't have to worry about the weight or anything. Thanks for showing your process. Just goes to show good old-fashioned hard work and consistency is the key. It's definitely about consistency, 100%. 100% consistency. If you can list on a consistent basis, every single day, every single week, your sales will pick up, and they will, there's still going to be a roller coaster. There's no denying it. Like if I list, like last month, I did a recap. I've got a video coming out on Sunday, which is showing the recap of my month. Now, last month in January, my highest sales $4 and my lowest was about $177. So there's still, I'm still doing exactly the same amount of work. There's still a roller coaster on the sales days, but I haven't had a no sales day for as long as I can remember. And I think that's what comes with consistency, and it all balances out. So even though sometimes I'll have like really, really good day, and then the next day will be maybe lower, over the entire week, there's only like a couple of $100 really difference between my actual sales each week. So my actual weekly sales are quite consistent at the moment with the amount of listing that I'm doing at 30 a day. But the idea is for me to be running a 30 listings a day at an average sale price of $30. So I'm nearly there with the average sale price. So, but yeah, consistency is the key. And I think if you can stay consistent, you will end up with a good store, and you can be consistent at whatever level you like. Do you know what I mean? Like I do 30 because I'm full-time. So I feel like as a full-time seller, 30 is a good amount to do. If you are a part-time seller, it might be 5, 10, 15. Like if you are a full-time seller and you sell things that are harder than books, maybe you can only do 20 a day. Or it also depends on how much you can source. Where are we? As your listings have free postage, do you lose quite a bit of profit on the shipping of the heavy bundles? Well, the heavy bundles cost me maybe around $12 something, maybe occasionally $14, but generally around that $12 something to post. I kind of just work that into the cost. Do you know what I mean? Like if I've got a big bundle that's going out, but I've sold that bundle for $50 and I've only paid $12 for the post and might have only paid $2 or $3 for the actual books, like I'm still making pretty good profit. So yeah, my aim is to make $1,000 a week profit at the moment. That's what I'm working at, for $1,000 a week profit at the moment from just my eBay store. So that's my goal at the moment, and that's what I'm getting or very, very close to getting with my bread and butter bookstore. Yeah, it is a very easy system, isn't it? You just have to choose the size, which is why in my videos you will see me picking my orders first, because I will pick the orders. Like most of the books, like I can see that's just going to go into a small mailer. I already know that visually by looking at it. Occasionally there'll be a book that might be like, oh, is that going to need a small or a medium? But if I've picked the books first, I can just quickly go and grab a mailer and check, which size is this going to go into? And then when I print my labels, I can just print it off as the correct size. So there's no error when I'm actually printing a shipping label on what size it is. So yeah, it is a very good post system. Okay, so I don't know. Do you want to watch me do another listing? Like, I don't know if you want to see me. What have I got here? Let me show you maybe like this one. I'm going to show you this one. Let me show you how I do like this cookbook here. Oops, let me just take this off. Share screen. Okay. Okay. Ken Hom Chinese cookery we're going to do. Ken Hom Chinese cookery, $32.60 here. I'm mostly looking at the ones that are in the Australian pricing. Do you know what I mean? If there's none that are in the Australian, then I will look at the books that are coming from UK or US or anything. But I am generally just scrolling here, looking to see what it's actually sold in my, my area that I live in, especially because I am selling, within Australia. So I can see this book, I mean, you can see here very, very low prices here, $2.76 in thing. Oh, this one over here, well, that was a signed one. Okay, so I know here, okay, this is Ken Hom. He has sold here for $26.95. I think the book that I'm about to list, although it's a slightly different book, it is almost the same as that. So I'm going to list off this one. Oh, that's my own book. Well, doesn't that? That's my own book. So let me see here. What if I was to go to my orders? I can do a search here of my own orders. Ken Hom, and I can't see that book there, so that's no good. I don't know why that's not showing. Where are maybe it's still in my active listings. Let's have a look. This is taking me a long time, isn't it? No. Okay, let's go here. I swear I'm going slower because I've got you guys watching me. Okay, Ken Won Chinese cookery. So we've got Chinese cookery here. Hardcover cookbook, Asian cuisine, recipes, food, modern. They can stay. And we've got a new SKU number here, 05. March 2022. Take these photos out. Oops. While that's downloading. Oops, I didn't copy paste my title. Chinese cookery, Ken Hom. It's not in Chinese language. Cooking, Asian cuisine, Chinese cuisine. Yes, food and drink. Hardcover, this one is. Non-fiction, cookbook, unknown. I'm going to put illustrated here. Bus jacket, adults, not inscribed. I'm going to go $26.99. Photos done? Yep, list. Let's go this one. $20.50. $27.95. $5.95. That's pretty cheap. I can do a better listing than this. I don't like this title. I didn't like the photos, so I'm going to price mine higher, and mine is going to be a better title. Food to Make You Glow, paperback book by Lola Berry, illustrated. Glow. I'm also going to put the word cookbook here, and then I'm going to put recipes. Here it is on 05 March 2022. The book is good. Copy paste up here. Photos dropping in. Illustrated, paperback, Lola Berry, beauty books, food, health, wellness, book series, non-fiction. I'm not sure about that. Let's leave it blank. Cookbooks, food. I might even put this one because it's a wellness kind of book under the mind, body, and spirit. I'm not sure of the year, so I'm just going to put unknown. It is an illustrated book. It is a book. Oh, my tummy's grumbling. Oops, there's an error with one of my photos not uploading, so I will just quickly grab the photo that didn't, which was the second one. Re-upload it. List. Okay. So pretty fast. Like, it's really like, I don't know, I'm not timing myself here, but I would say it's like a minute or something to list a pretty generic book. It's not really very list. Once I'm in the flow, like it's much easier. Like here, I'm a little bit out of my flow because I'm going back and forth here. But when I just sit down for an hour to list, I literally put on a podcast and I just sit here and get into that zone. And I don't leave my chair. I don't have to get up and check anything. All the details are in the photos. It becomes very, very quick. Does the volume pricing show up for the customer when they view the listing, or is it if you have more than one quantity of their book, they get a discount? No, I think it actually shows up for them when they're buying. Like I think it gives them like a little thing maybe that says, I don't actually know. I only ever have one quantity of the book, so it's not like they're getting it basically means if they buy 2 books from me, they get a 10% off. So maybe because it's already automatically set there, maybe it just calculates it in their shipping. If they were to do a multi-order with 2 or 3 books, maybe it just automatically gives them 10%. I actually don't know how that works. I just click the button because eBay likes it. But I don't really see any come through where I notice that discount is actually like coming off a listing. So I don't exactly know how it works, to be honest with you. I just know that eBay like me to tick it. It's good for my business. And honestly, like it's not like I'm like, you might be like, I've got it set there, whatever the basic is, that it just comes up with the standard 10%, 15%, 20%. Like, I'm not worried about giving that. If somebody buys 3 books from me, I'm more than happy that they get a 20% discount because I'm charging them. My shipping is incorporated into my costs. So 3 books that go into one shipping, like I'm actually making quite a bit more profit when I get a multi-order. So I'm more than happy for them to get a little 20% discount because I'm still making more than that by them buying multiple books. So, but yeah, to be honest, I've never really looked where they actually see that, or maybe it's just once they put 3 books in their cart, maybe it comes up and tells them they're getting a 10%. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it only counts if you have multiple in the one listing. Yeah, interesting. I'll find out that information for you and I'll let you know. Because I honestly don't know. I just tick it. I just tick it. I know on my quality listing report or whatever, it says like it likes that I've got that as an added, like basically anything that eBay suggests that you can do to make your listing better. Because didn't it actually say, I think, let me just go to one. Where is it? Where's the actual page? If I just go here and do a similar, what does it actually say at the bottom of it? Okay, so if that is not clicked, it says here, give your buyers a reason to buy more. Add volume pricing to eligible listings to increase the chance of sales by up to 10%. Okay. I don't know what they class as an eligible listing. Maybe it is only if you have multiple quantity of the same one. I don't have multiple quantity, but I guess by ticking the button, if it is something that my listings are eligible for, then it'll give it to them. And I think, basically eBay is giving you a little nudge here. Give your buyers a reason to add more. Well, it doesn't hurt me by ticking that. So I'll just tick it and, eBay hopefully go, oh, okay, she's ticking it. She's offering more value to her customers by offering something if it's available. So, so that's the way that I look on it. Anything that eBay tells me that might add value to my customers or do better, I think that's better. 12 photos. Yeah, I try and do 12 photos if I can. My average for my listings is sitting around 8, I think. But the more photos you've got in there, the better. If you do clothes, I would 100% say 12 photos. Like sometimes on a book it's harder, but I just make it up. I add a couple of different angles, or I just make it up by adding a couple. Where is it here? So look, you can see here, share screen, window. Okay, so say this book here, Margaret Fulton. Okay, you can see how many photos have I got there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 12 photos of just a boring basic that's got, this book has got no color photos or anything inside it. So I've basically done the front, the back. I've showed a picture inside of the text. I've taken a photo of the little bit there in case somebody wants to read what the book's about. Just got a photo of the home page. There's my photo of the publisher details and the year it's made. I've got all 4 edges here, and then I've just done one on both the angles here, which takes me an extra like 2 seconds. Like I'm just spinning it around. Like it takes 2 seconds. I always do these ones here at the end, like so that, because sometimes like if I'm taking a photo of a cookbook or something, maybe there's more. Sometimes I'll come up, I'll have 14 or 15 photos. So it'll just drop off the ones that are the least necessary. I try and add the ones that are the, the first 12, try and take them as the most important ones. And then the other ones are kind of extra to fill the space if I need to. But, some, not all of them have 12. What's this one got? 11. Like this one here, for example, that one's only got 8. But it just, these ones here that have like color illustrations in them, these are going to have 12 photos always. These ones here, this is a bundle. So I've taken like the front, the back, then I've taken like an individual of all those books. I've got that one that's going to come up and probably be my main photo. And then I've got like the edges. Maybe I'll show you how I do this bundle, because this is a bundle with all different authors. So let me see. Let me take that off, share my eBay page. Okay, so this is, wrong page. Okay, so this is a bundle of 4 women's romance books, and there is all different authors, 4 totally different authors. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I actually have, you can see up the top here as well, I've got bookmarked active listings, so I can just straight away click here whenever I need a new page to go to my active listings. So that just helps me to look here. So I've got lots of other book bundles that are similar to this. So I'm just going to sit here and go, maybe if I type up assorted romance here for the title, we'll see what comes up in my listings. Okay, so I've got lots here. You can see these are coming up as assorted romance books. Okay, so I'm just going to look for another one here that's got like 4. So this one, because the one thing is when you have books like this where you could run the same title on 20 different book bundles. Do you know what I mean? But you're not allowed to have the same title in your eBay listings. You have to make them all different. So let me go here. I'm going to go do a sell similar of this one. My pricing pretty much stays the same. Sits, depending on the condition of the book, sits somewhere between that $30 and $40 for a 4-book bundle like this. Okay, so this is the title that I've got for one that's already there similar. So I need to make this a little bit different. So let's do 4 by women's fiction romance books. And then like these are all about the cowboy, the outback, the drama. So let's maybe add in the word love. And I'm also going to add in the word lot here. And if I had room, I could put bundle, but I don't have bundle here. So I don't have enough characters left. So I'll just leave that, right? So over here is this is on E5, this book. Okay, my condition stays the same. So copy and paste my title there. I'm going to just check the condition of these when I'm uploading these photos. So firstly, I'm going to just upload this photo because I want that one to be my main photo. And I didn't take that in the right order. Right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see that book. So underneath here, I can see the author. So I've got Rachel Johns. She's already there. I don't have any Carly Lane in this lot or Nicholas Sparks. I do have Fleur. So I'm going to put all 4 authors in this section here. So there's actually only 3 of them because 2 of them are by the same author. So Nicole Marsh is the 3rd one. So that's that. I'm just going to put something to hide because that's the main book photo that I've got there. So that's going to be the book title. Over here, most of this probably won't have to do. I'm going to take off Australian stories because I don't actually think this is Australian fiction, but there's the topics. The book series, you could put romance, I think, here if you wanted to. It's a romance book series. Women's fiction, romance, drama. I'm happy with those genres. Publisher, unknown or blank. Fiction, publication, unknown, because they're all going to be different. In the features here, I'm going to add the 2 words, bundle and lot. I'm trying to use the word lot a lot more. I used to use the word bundle a lot more, but eBay actually tells me that lot is a better keyword to use than bundle. So I try to put them both in wherever possible, but if I can only choose one of them, I'll put the word lot in. And these are not inscribed. The other ones were. And these are for adults. Copy and paste down here my new title. Those ones were acceptable for $34.95. These ones are actually pretty good. I'm going to put these ones as $38.99 and click list. And that is it. So really, the only really different thing that I changed there is you'll notice I didn't really have all the titles of the books in my title. Like, it's an assorted bundle. So I've tried to put more of the searchable terms that for that genre. People are looking for those cowboy books, the romance books, the sexy books. Like, that's a genre that people are searching for. So they will type those. Most people will type in romance novels or romance books or something. Yeah. Can you explain how to end an old listing and sell similar? Will those count as new listings in the store? Thank you. Okay, yes, Carol. You can end an old listing and then do it as a sell new. I'll end one of mine if you'd like, and show you how to sell it. Yeah, will it count as a new listing? It will count as a new listing. It will if you do a sell. If you do it as a okay. If you end a listing and you just relist it, it won't count as a new you kind of, yes, you have to do the sell similar. I'm not being very clear here. You're better off, I think you're better off if you're going to end a listing to do sell similar and make it like a brand new listing, so it kind of maybe sparks up some new interest. However, you can still end a listing, fix it up and relist it. However, I don't really see the need to do that. If you're just going to fix up a title, just go into edit and fix it up with your edit is what I think. Where are we? Let me see. You want me to show you how I end an old listing and relist it? Let's go to my Okay, so here's one of my listings. Let me look. I obviously don't want to list one of these new ones that I've done. I'm just going to see one of these old ones that might have just relisted overnight. Okay. Let me see which one. I'm just going to choose one that I want to end. Okay, because some of these are already ended. Those ones are all pretty new. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay, so basically you just click on the book that you want and you click here and you go end listing, right? So it's going to end the listing, right? Up here under your listing tab, go to your ended books, right? And these are the ended ones. So here you've got the option to push relist or push sell similar. So we'll go in there and we'll do a sell similar. I'm going to have a quick look at my title here. and see what is this book, Gardens of Illusion. So Gardens of Illusion, hardcover book, Sarah Mill, gardens, concepts. Let's add the word gardening as something different. Where are we? We've got no environmental, leisure, illustrated book, unknown, nonfiction, dust cover. The listing seems fine to me. It's not too bad. Let's add the word gardening to the back of that one. Maybe the price is too high on this one, so let's drop it a few dollars and list item. So it's exactly the same there. Basically, you're just kind of going through your other stuff, making sure it's all correct, right? And then if you want to go back to your here, so right now I'm in my unsold listings. I'm still in that ended folder here, right? You want to get rid of that because now you've ended that and you've redone it now. So now I'm just going to delete that, right? So that's gone now from my thing. These two I'm working on, so that's why they're there. So that's it. That's how you do that. Where are we? Do you think the Australian book market is better than the American book market? I think it's different. I think you guys have got Amazon. We can't sell secondhand books on Amazon in Australia. So we definitely have a fairly strong market, I think, in Australia, because there's nowhere else to really sell our secondhand books on except Facebook Marketplace, and they don't give very much money on Facebook Marketplace, to be honest. But if you do a search on eBay, if you go to ebay.com America and look at how many books, like if I was to go, I can't see it here. Let me have a look. ebay.com. Okay. So right now I'm in ebay.com, not .com.au, I think. That's right. ebay.com. Now, if I was to do a book, have a look. What's going on? Why is it taking so long? Okay, books. I want to go to, okay, let's go. Sold. Let's have a look for books here in America. 2,500,000 books have sold. Okay, so to me, if 2.5 million books have sold on eBay America, I think that's a lot of books, don't you? Like, I think there's a good market there for those. Let's have a look. If I was to type in, let's have a look here, fiction books. 1,800,000 fiction books have sold. And then you can do searches in here. So you can search here, like you want to search for all the how many books have sold for, you know, over a certain price point. You can go through all these item specifics and search for them. Like you want to have a look here, over $15. We take it from 1.8 million to 600,000. Do you know what I mean? So then you can start narrowing down your search and have a look. Like, here's a good one, 23 Dr. Seuss book, took an offer there for over $200. You can also search this, you know, between highest first, so you can kind of get an idea what books are selling for, like a whole lot of pricing. Where are we? Some of these will be not your everyday kind of books that you'll find, but let's go down here. I mean, these are some look, Stephen King there signed $2,000. I mean, it's crazy. But you can type in the same kind of thing. What if you want to type in cookbook, for example? Cookbook, you know, These are the most expensive selling cookbooks, but you can kind of scroll down and get an idea. And these are very hard to find, these kind of books. I've never sold a book for $1,000, but you can kind of go and start finding books. Look for the books that are selling $20 to $50, because that's kind of what you want, those books that are selling for $20 to $50. Okay, have we got any questions? I've been going nearly 2 hours again. Have you liked this kind of live? Hi to everybody who's joined as well. I don't know. Have you liked this kind of live where you've seen me doing that? I don't know if it's helped you, but I guess the moral I want you to get from this video is that it's fast for me to list like this because everything is the same. It's fast for me because I'm niche down and I'm so familiar with books, and I'm so familiar with what I'm familiar, like when I was doing that book of 4 assorted romance books, I know automatically that I sell those books between $30 and $40 depending on condition. So I don't even have to research how much I'm going to list those books for sale for, because I already know. And that comes with being niche down and knowing, like becoming kind of like an expert in my genre. Like it makes it so much faster for me. And when I'm doing those bread and butter books, it's very, very quick for me to just list one after the other. And you can see that I'm only looking at top 5 or 10 items of what they've sold for and maybe what they're listed for, to quickly give me that base idea for me to make an educated guess on how much I'm going to price my book for. I don't spend a lot of time stressing about the price that I'm buying the book, like $24, $25. Like if they're selling for somewhere between $24 and $29, I'm going to mark mine down around that $24, $25 mark. I want to move mine out quicker, so I want to be more down, not under it, but I don't want to price myself under. I want to stay to more that low to mid range. Yeah. Do you ever have customers complain your book's not being in boxes? No. Occasionally I will send like a big lot in a box, but nobody ever complains that they're not packaged in box. I did get one feedback the other day that said that the bag had split open, but the books inside were fine. That's the first time anybody's ever said to me that a package mailer is split or anything like that, so I'm not sure what happened there in the post, but nobody ever complains. Like if you look at my feedback, it's all very I don't know if we can look at my feedback. Let me see. Let me have a look at my feedback here. Great service, fabulous book, item is described, arrived safely due to good packaging, fast dispatch, books in pristine condition, would recommend this seller to anyone. Beautiful, very happy, excellent, prompt, very happy, just as expected, 5-star. Arrived early, great condition, as described, excellent. Quick postage, well packaged, very happy, speedy postage, blah, blah, blah. So super fast delivery, safe packaging, AA++, very packages there's the one that said packages split open but contents were okay, very quick. That's really like good order, as described. Thanks for the replacements, and the chocolate was not necessarily but a pleasant surprise. Okay, that was a lady that I stuffed her order up. She ordered some Christmas baubles. I think she ordered Disney and I sent her Star Wars. I had 2 of them here and I sent her the wrong one. So anyway, I threw in a Kit Kat or something with her order as an apology when I resent her the actual ones that she'd actually ordered. There you go. I got like a nice feedback from an order that I actually stuffed up. So yeah, I think my feedback seems to be fine. Nobody seems to be mucking up, complaining there about the packaging of the mailers. So, if I was getting complaints on there, then maybe that's when I'd go, oh, okay, what am I doing? But, I've got 2,200 feedback and there's none that are, telling me that there's a problem with how they're arriving. So I feel pretty safe. What made you sell a lot of books? I had one of those everything stores. I was clothing, I was shoes, I was books, I was DVDs, like I was bits and pieces, bags. I just had one of those everything stores when I started, which is similar to what I think everybody has when they start. And I always had about 500 books within my store. I probably had 2,000 listings, 500 of them maybe books. And I don't know, when COVID first hit was when the book sales just started. Everybody was in lockdown. The book sales started like increasing, and I started hunting for more books. And yeah, I just fell in love with the whole book process. I think I just kind of fell in love with books and fell out of love with clothes. And I do love to read books myself, and I love to listen to audiobooks. And I don't know. Yeah, I just really enjoyed the whole process with books. Books do take up a lot of space. You've got to have like a good storage area to do books. They take up a lot of space. You bring in a lot of books that you have to sort through. Like there's a lot of sorting through and discarding of books as well that comes with getting book hauls. Not so much when you're cherry picking your books, but when you're getting in these big hauls. But I don't know. I just kind of fell in love with the whole books, and the more I've done books, at first I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to totally niche in the one genre, but that's where I'm heading, just to totally focus on books with maybe a little bit of side doing some DVD bundles and CDs. I don't really want to be listing individual DVDs, just bundles of them, like by series and stuff. I really love bundles of books, bundles of DVDs, bundles of CDs, whatever I can bundle. That's where I make my money. So where are we? Thank you so much. I'm so glad. If anybody's got any questions, if you have any questions related to this or unrelated to this after the live stream, or you're watching back, just put them down in the comment section of the video, and I will try and get those answered for you as soon as possible. Do you get customers that want to return? I just had my first return the other day in 90 days. And the woman has said that she's just put it there as a change of mind. It was a textbook, and she said that she just wrote to me and she said, I managed to get a PDF copy of this book from the uni or whatever. She said, so I'm just going to return it for a refund. So that's the first. So I've got a return coming to me at the moment, and that's the first one I've had in 90 days. So no, I don't get many returning books at all. No. I know you do eBay. However, eBay seems very saturated in USA. Because of you, I've started an Amazon book business and thriving. Love your videos. This is awesome, Tyler. Doesn't matter, like it's whatever platform, like, and even like just because I do books, I've got lots of people who follow me that don't do books. The listing process can be implemented in the same way here that I'm showing everyone now. Do you know what I mean? But you can do it with clothes. It's just, I think once you get into that niche and if you're doing all men's clothing, your listing process is going to speed up so much faster, like mine is with books, than somebody who's doing books and shoes and clothes and DVDs and glass vases and ceramic bowls and all the different types of things. So that is awesome. I'm so glad to see that you've, experimented with books. I think Amazon is a great business to be in America. Definitely, like massive Amazon. A lot of booksellers in America are Amazon based. So I think there's a good market though still for US on doing your bundles, because over on Amazon, from what I can gather, you can only do bundles like by like book set, by book collection. So you can't do those assorted random ones like I do. Like I'll do 4 of the same romance genre or 4 of the same cooking, like Thai cooking or something. Like there's a market for those kind of bundles on eBay America. I had another guy in America message me massive bookseller, huge bookseller in America, like warehouse level, bringing in gaylord after gaylord of books. And he messaged me and he was like, oh my goodness, you have opened my eyes up that we are discarding, because they're basically scanning the books, and whatever comes under their certain dollar point, they're discarding. And he's like, you are showing us to put these in the bundles of the low end ones that are like of the same genre or whatever, and then you're selling them for like $30-40. And so they have been playing around now with books that they were discarding in this massive business, and now they're playing around with bundles for eBay, and I absolutely love it. I'm so it's awesome to see people like trying to experiment with this kind of stuff. This guy's got the books, do you know what I mean? He's got gaylords of books, and these were books that they was just getting rid of, and now his kind of eyes have been open to like, oh my goodness, I can bundle these and make it work, so, and make more money. So that's awesome to see. I sold a book for $150. How good is that? I love selling books in that $100-200 mark. It's just, it blows my mind sometimes that you can buy a book for $1 and sell it for $150-200. Hey Trent, you come to the end. I'm nearly left. I'm not a reseller. I do use eBay for decluttering, and I do run an online business. I watch a lot of reseller content, and a lot of online businesses are very private about what goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, I think there is an element of, I'm pretty open. Like in general in life, if you know me, I'm an open book. Like what you get is what you get. But sometimes I have that verbal diarrhea that comes out and can get me into trouble. So I'm pretty open. There's not much that I don't share within my business. Like, so I don't share sometimes going into the particular charity shops that I've got relationships with. Do you know what I mean? Like I keep some of, like, so you don't see me out thrifting a lot, because I live in a small state. We don't have that many charity shops, to be honest. We don't have many. They're not very large. So kind of like those kind of things about where I get my books and stuff, sometimes I keep a little bit to myself. But for the most part, I'm pretty much sharing this pretty publicly with you, what I sell, what I buy, you know, how I run my business from in here. I'm trying to keep that pretty open with you guys. Like, I'm not really trying to hide. The only thing I'm really would try and hide is where I particularly maybe got something from, because I wouldn't want to blow that for my own business, if that makes sense. Like, you know, there's some things that you have to guard a little bit, because, you know, at the end of the day, even though I'm sharing everything publicly, I still got to make that, like, I still got to make money for my own family. Like, I'm not rich. I can't just share it all and not make any money myself. I still need the money. If you end an auction with no bids, can you change it to a price instead? I'm not 100% sure, Ryan. I don't do auctions. So, yeah, I'm just not 100% sure if you can change that. Maybe somebody else can answer you in the comments, because I can't give you an accurate answer there. Thank you for watching in the UK. It is late there. I appreciate you guys from UK. I know there's a lot of UK in here, and I appreciate you all staying up late watching me. I honestly really do. Okay, last minute, if you got a question, throw it in again now, like, so I don't have to scroll back up. I'm sorry if I've missed it. Throw it there now, otherwise I'm going to get ready to sign off. There you go, Ryan. Molly said, yes, you can. There you go. Yep, and yes, it ends and you can relist it. There you go. So I hope this has helped you guys. I mainly just wanted to kind of show a lot of people kind of how do you do this so fast, and how do you get 30 things up every single day? And it's just really because my system is so streamlined, and I'm not overthinking. I'm not overthinking the pricing. I'm not overthinking the item specifics. I'm just moving it down as if it's a spreadsheet. eBay is basically a robot. It's just moving down the spreadsheet, item specific by item specific, and looking at every single one, especially if you're doing a sell similar of somebody else's listing. Just because somebody else has got a listing up there, it doesn't mean it's correct. You need to check all those item specifics and make sure they haven't added in anything wrong that could open you up to an item not as described. If you don't know it, take it out. Take it out. I think it's best if you can do a sell similar off one of your own listings, even better. If that's the best way to do it. So that becomes very easy when you're selling the same products. If I'm selling a lot of James Patterson books, I just do a sell similar off another James Patterson book. If I'm selling a lot of Jamie Oliver cookbooks, I just do a sell similar off one of my other Jamie. I've nearly always got a Jamie Oliver cookbook in my store. I don't need to so much do a sell similar of somebody else's listing that might be mucked up, it might be incorrect. So always go through everything, or just start at the top, step by step, work it into your listing. Don't forget to add your SKU system in there. And that's how it works for me. I know some people will have their items in 2 tubs next to them, the ones that like, especially if clothing, maybe they might pull the clothing out and do it. For me, with books, it's very easy to just run off the photos like that. And because I'm only photographing them the night before or the day that I'm actually listing, I visually can remember the condition of the book. And if the condition of the book is really poor, I'm taking extra photos of that to note it. So I can see in my photos, basically, was this book good or was this book like acceptable? I can kind of see that just by looking at my photos and any imperfections. If there's writing in the book, I take a photo of it. I straight away know then that the book is inscribed. If there's any text inside that book, it needs to go as an acceptable condition book. Yeah. What is your process for getting rid of the books and not selling? And how long do you keep it to trash it? What dollar amount do you finally get rid of it or hold it? Okay. I will leave them listing on my store if I've got room for it. If I start to run out of room, then I'm going to have to go back through and start looking at those older listings and then reevaluating. What I would probably do is run in my store, what I would do is I would run it by, when you search your active listings, you can search it by the different category. So I would search it from lowest price to highest price. And if I was running out of room in my store, I would look at the oldest listings that I've got that are at the lowest price, which is probably $15, because I don't like to put any books in my store that are under $15. So if I was running out of a lot of space, I would probably go, okay, let's look at these old listings that have been here for a long time and they're at my base price. Can I bundle any of these books up to put them into to change them and make them different? Or is it time to redonate those books? But I would only do that if I was running out of space. If I've got the space here, I'll just keep the listings going, because some books are long tail. Not all books are quick flips. That's the thing with selling books. Some of them are long tail books because they're on very specific subjects, or they need a very niche buyer to buy them. So if you've got the room for them, keep it. Just keep it there. Keep listing. Keep revising, maybe 5 to 10 listings, older listings a day, to fix them up. If you're running out of storage, then that's when you 100% need to go back through. But I would do it by lowest to highest price and oldest listings. Yeah. I only sell books within Australia at this point of time, but I am looking to add the international post. I'm being hounded by a few people to add the international post. I do want to do it. I think I'm probably missing out on a chunk of sales. I've got people telling me that 30% of they get 30% of sales going internationally. So if I could add another 30% of business to my store, wow, that would make a huge difference. That could be another, like $1,000 or something in sales. So definitely international post is on my radar. It's just not something I've done yet. I don't know if you answered. Do you use Australia Post business postage or eBay label printing, or is it connected? I use Australia Post business postage. It's cheaper for me. I'm on the highest level of post discount because of the amount that I send. So yes, I definitely use the third party Australia Post business, my post, to do my labels. If I was to print through eBay, even though eBay labels are cheaper than just going in and buying a flat rate satchel at the post office, it's still not as cheap for me as doing AusPost. So I think for me, a small mailer cost me $7.45 to post, whereas if you were, I don't know what it costs you to do a small one via the eBay system, maybe $9. So there is a significant difference. And the thing when you're selling books, especially low-end books, you need to be getting the highest amount of discount possible you can on your postage, because some books you've got less profit in them. Like if I was paying retail pricing on my postage, some of these books at $15, not making enough profit. So that is the benefit of a bread and butter store, is often you are selling more items, which help get you up into those higher postage level discounts. I think you have to be selling 40 items a week to get the highest level, which really isn't that hard. It's just you got to stay on that consistent basis. Does your husband ever come into the shed when you are listing? Sometimes he comes in here if he needs me or something. I mean, he's at work during the day. I'm listing during the day. So if I'm in here in the night, it's normally that I'm finishing off a YouTube video. I'm not normally listing at night unless I've totally had a mucked up day. But I'm normally, if I'm in the shed after like 5 o'clock at night, it's normally because I'm doing YouTube, finishing YouTube videos, editing for hours. They can take me a long time. Does it take longer because you have to individually type everyone's details, but it's cheaper? Yeah, it does take a little bit longer to create a label on Australia Post. You've just got to, you've got to import you open up a third-party website, then you've got to import your orders, then you've got to check. Sometimes the address actually sometimes you have to copy and paste and change the address slightly. There is also, you choose your drop down. You have to hit all these buttons, that claims that there's nothing dangerous in the parcel. And so it does take a little bit longer to process it that way, but it's definitely financially beneficial to do it. Yeah. How many books are more than a month old? Lots. I don't take them away. I just leave them here unless I'm out of space. But yeah, there's a lot of books that are a month old. Obviously, I'm currently selling probably half the amount a week that I put in. So there's books that are more than a month old. That doesn't worry me. Some of the books are long tail. How come you turned returns on? Because tech and sports and daily refinement told me to do it. And they are so tech. I am doing the mentoring with tech and sports and daily refinement, and tech is an absolute eBay guru. He is amazing. He is multi-million-dollar eBay seller. He has the #1 men's clothing store in America. Massive store. He knows what he's on about. He knows what he's talking about. And Tech said, turn your returns on, Mel. So basically, Tech, you are my mentor and I will do what you say. But also in my quality listing report, it was recommending to me that I do turn on returns. So I don't have free returns. I've got returns. So buyer has to pay the return cost if they want to do it, unless it's obviously like an item not as described, when I'm liable for those return postage costs, which I would be anyway. But yeah, basically I am trying to do exactly what eBay tells me. I'm trying to follow the eBay system. And, eBay is basically like a robot. You just have to do exactly what does Tech say? I love it. eBay does not care for your opinion. eBay cares only for facts. eBay does not care for your opinion that you think there's too many item specifics. eBay does not care that you think that there's a glitch when maybe there's not. eBay doesn't care. It does not care when you whinge to eBay about slow sales. eBay doesn't care. List more. eBay is basically like a spreadsheet with facts, and it's because it is a robot. It's like a yes and no question. So the question to eBay, is it better to have on returns? Yes. Okay, there's the answer. So I think it's just sometimes we have to change our mindset. We get very I was very worried, if I put on returns, am I going to get a stack of returns? I've had one, but that was a genuine return. Like she didn't try to fudge it or try and, make me pay the postage back. She accepted the responsibility that she got another copy of it free via PDF through the school, and so she wanted a refund. She'll lose out on sending that book postage back to me. I'll lose out on sending postage to her, but it's one order out of, 450 or something. 2 hours later, I'm going, Nick. eBay does not care. That's where the sentence should end. That is it. eBay does not care for us as a reseller, our opinion on theirs is just a systematic spreadsheet. Basically, the website is basically a spreadsheet, and you fill the spreadsheet in to the best of your ability and you're done. It does not care for your opinion. Yep. So that's it. It sounds like Tech needs to scream at you. Tech doesn't scream. That's why I like him. Tech is the most cool, calm, and collected. Just it's all about the facts. Cool, calm, collected. Facts. What do you think of the famous man on Tech's Cool who knows Bozo? What do you think of the famous man? Do you mean Carl? I love him. How often do you source in the thrift shop versus the marketplace and get things for free? I probably source more often in the thrift shop, but when I'm running low on stock, that's when I'll start to do a bit more of a source on Facebook Marketplace. And also I have alerts set up for me on Facebook Marketplace so that I don't have to physically go in there and be searching every single day. I've got alerts set up there to notify me if something that I'm particularly after comes up as a listing, then I get an alert saying that something's been listed that I might want to look at. So then it's like I can just quickly, easily see that rather than having to go in there and spend hours searching. Yep. Why do you sell on eBay when they're bad? Well, I don't think they're bad. eBay's paying me a full-time income. I don't sell on any other platform. So I think eBay is good to you if you do what they say. eBay wants you to list. And if you list good things, if you list items that people actually want, and you have a good title and you have good photos, and you list on a consistent basis, you will get sales. That's what you need to do. Items people want, good photos, good title, list consistently equals sales. Yeah. And that's exactly right. There's good things about and bad things about all the platforms. I'm sure that if you were on Poshmark, there'd be people complaining about Poshmark when they do things as well. There's good things and bad things about it, but overall, eBay provides me a full-time income to work from my house in my back shed and be available for my kids whenever they need me. So that is a win-win for me. I can't ever say that they're bad. When selling online, pick a platform, do everything that platform wants. It's part of the deal. That's it. Like, you don't have to sell on their platform. You can go make your own platform and attempt it. You're going to struggle. But, when you sign on to a platform, do exactly what they say and follow the rules, and that's how it works. And I actually think it's easier just to sell on one platform than having multiple platforms, like cross-listing and stuff. To me, as somebody who can be a bit of a scatterbrain, that's like having multiple tabs open in my head all the time. That is like I jumping, having to work out what's sold on this platform and that sold. No. And also in Australia, we don't have many platforms. eBay is the main platform. We don't have Amazon to sell secondhand. Poshmark hasn't taken off. Depop is slow. So we've pretty much got eBay. So we have to learn to love it. There you go. What does Nick say? All platforms have their issues. The distance selling is based on the trust, and there will always be issues wherever you choose to sell. Yeah. When do you decide when a listing just won't sell? I just talked about that a bit earlier, but basically, like, I'll keep the listing on the shelf unless I'm out of space. And then if I get out of space, then I'll cull by doing like the lowest priced items in my store that have been there the longest. They'll be the first ones to be removed. But otherwise, I'll just keep them here until I'm out of space, and everything sells really if you've got, if it's priced right and it's listed right and you're willing to sit it out in time. So yeah, but it always will come back to space. Do you find books that are so rare you can't find info on them? Yes, some of them are hard. They go into my procrastination box. And I just was saying earlier, sometimes with those hard books, I will just list like one of them a day. So like I try and do my 30 books a day that are fast, and then I might try and add in one or two of the hard books just so that I've got, I always do that last as well. I don't let that book interrupt my workflow. So I won't do half my listings and then do a hard listing that's going to take me down like a different path of research. I'll leave that hard book to last and then spend a little bit of extra time on it. But yeah, there are some books. I've got a book in here that's 200 years old, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's hard. Where are we? Text call at midnight here in UK. Last one was 5.5 hours. I know. I actually was the last one out last night and ended the call. I've been wanting to ask you that question for a while. I spent the afternoon sourcing books, so missed most of your lifestyle. Well, the thing about this, you can always listen back with the live stream. So thank you so much for coming, but T Kate, and I hope you got some good sourcing books. Rightio. Trent, I love how open and honest you are about your whole eBay. Watching and chatting to you has really helped me. And honestly, Trent, you have ordered from me maybe 6 times. So I really appreciate your support of my business. So, yeah. Are you having pain in your voice? Yes, I need a drink. I've got post-it notes. Righto, guys, I've been on here for over 2 hours. That is crazy. If you've got any questions about listing or my listing process or about your listing process, any questions, drop them down in the comments after we've gone. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I only listed about 3 things in this whole 2.5 hours, so now I've got another 27 items to go and list. Happy days. Kids are at school. Yes, Dave. Okay. Thanks, guys, for watching. See ya. Bye. What did I do? I'm still here.